Nothing ever becomes real till it is experienced. I've believed in God and had a God consciousness for as long as I can remember. But I remember the exact moment in 2012 when Jesus became real to me. I had a Jesus experience. Experience is defined as a particular instance of personally encountering or undergoing something, a personal observation, coming into contact with someone or something. In today's world, many people don't believe in Jesus because of the inconsistency in man, because they can't see or touch him, and for a variety of other reasons. I don't want to beat those people up or tell them how much they need Jesus. I just pray they have what I had, what every single believer has had, a Jesus experience. The Bible says, blessed are those who believe but have not seen. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. Pretty profound. But the truth is, sometimes we do need to see something. Sometimes we do need to feel something. Sometimes we do need to sense God and know that he's real. We need him to come through in order for us to be able to move forward. After Jesus was resurrected from the grave, he appeared on earth on several different occasions. He appeared to different groups. He appeared to some of his disciples. But there was one disciple in particular who did not see Jesus post-resurrection. And he felt like in order to believe it, he needed to see for himself. He needed to touch the wounds of Jesus. John chapter 20, verses 24 through 29 say, one of the 12 disciples, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, was not with the others when Jesus came. They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into the wound in his side." 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you," he said. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand into the wound in my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." Don't be mistaken. He will go through a lot to get you to believe. In the case of Thomas, Jesus obliged him. He did what was necessary in order for Thomas to believe. I can remember a time in my own life when I had just started preaching and I had just said yes and embarked on that stage of the journey of my life. And I requested Jesus. I said, "Lord, if this is really what you want me to do, then I need a sign." I was scheduled to participate in a service on Good Friday. It was actually 2 years to the day that I had my first Jesus encounter. I didn't make that connection until today. But I said, "God, something will happen in this service, or something will happen as a result of this service. And if it does, then I will believe that this is what you want me to do." So I delivered the message that God had given me. And before I left the building, I was invited to deliver that same message later on in a different service that evening. I couldn't believe it. My faith was confirmed. God had reassured me that this thing is true. God had did what was necessary to get me to believe again. What we have to understand is God will cater to you. God will do what is necessary in your life to feed and fertilize your faith, to strengthen the relationship between you and him. After all, that's what this whole thing was about. If the cross teaches you nothing else, let it teach you, let it remind you that there is literally not one thing that God will not do for you. The Bible says, he who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us freely, how will he not with him graciously or freely give us all things? If he was willing to give his life for you, there's nothing that he would not do. Confirming your faith is one of the things that is on that list. Belief in the resurrection of Jesus is the pinnacle of your faith. Don't be misled or mistaken if you feel like you don't have faith, if you feel like you don't have enough faith, if you feel like your faith is too frail or too weak. Let me remind you of this powerful truth. If you believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, that is the pinnacle of your faith. That is the highest level of faith that can be exercised, which means then that believing for anything else is lesser in magnitude. So whatever it is that you're going through right now, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is that you need God to do, I pray that he gives you the experience that you need, that he gives you the encounter that you need to keep moving forward. Sometimes we do need proof. And our experience or our encounter is that empirical data, which lets us know that Jesus is real, that God is real, that he's the one who is behind this whole thing. If you've been needing confirmation for your faith, it's only a matter of time. The same way that Jesus came through for Thomas, he will come through for you. He has an experience that is tailor-made for your situation. It may be subtle, it may be dramatic, but it will be precise, the exact thing that you need. The most beautiful and powerful thing about an experience is once you've had it, it can't be taken away. No one can tell you that it didn't happen. But you know in your soul, you know to your core what you witnessed. So I'm just going to keep praying and believing until the next time that I have another Jesus experience. And I'll be praying that you have one too. This Resurrection Sunday, as you think about the cross, as you think about Jesus, you might not have been there. You might not have touched his hand, but one way or another, he touched your life, allowed you to experience his love, his supernatural supply, his divine intervention and salvation. The same God that began the good work within you will continue his work until it is finished. He will continue to reveal, continue to demonstrate. God is as real today as he's ever been. Let your experience serve as the empirical evidence.